With all the latest big talking points, news and discussion from the football world, this is Football Central.
Hello everybody and welcome to this week's TubeMix football roundup for the games that have just gone in the last week or so. I'm on me Todd again, but this time I've got Will with me. He's back, he's feeling better. How are you, mate?
Thank you. I'm really good, and can I just say a big thank you to you and Sam Taylor for doing such an excellent job, as I know you always would have, standing in for me. And I'm back and raring to go.
Well, you know, mate, what can you say? Heroes, not all heroes wear capes.
Absolutely. And obviously it's quite fitting that you say that, because obviously today, the clap for heroes, clap for carers came back, but it's now clap for all heroes.
Yeah. You know, I like the idea, but and I did clap, but I can't say I was clapping for myself in that particular instance, even though I do count as a key worker.
Clapping for yourself is a bit weird.
I know, exactly. Plenty to discuss again this week.
Yes, so, plenty.
You know, an FA Cup weekend this weekend, obviously, as well.
Yes, talking about the FA Cup, actually, the Southampton and Shrewsbury game is off. It is.
Yeah, and Liverpool and Villa might be off.
Yes.
I saw that. Yeah, very. It's getting to the point now where we are seeing a hell of a lot of games called off due to COVID. There were no casualties this week in terms of games, were there?
No.
Oh, there was Fulham and Burnley.
Oh, yeah, that was right, yeah.
Fulham and Burnley was called off, so we missed that one out on our roundup. I haven't done one of these in ages.
Yeah, I don't know. We've sort of lost our rhythm, haven't we? A little bit. I'm not quite sure why. I have also as well, which is quite unlike me actually.
Well, if there's ever a time to try some different content style, I've said it consistently. Whenever you're ready to try something new, not that we enjoy doing the football show, of course, but should Will want to try something new, then that is what it is. I'm just gonna get up the games for this week. Obviously, there is a hell of a lot to cover, because there was also games all the way through the festive period, not one of which we did. Maybe we could mention that later on.
Yes, I think it was good that we had a Christmas break, I think, because we'd done quite a lot, before that.
Well, I think we'd already we hadn't set in stone decided that we were going to have the festive period off, but everybody's busy, everybody's doing stuff, so
I needed to have a break as well. I did.
That is what that is. So to kick us off, on New Year's Day, we are in a new year, the first review of 2021.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say. but also very
It
good.
is weird.
Everton were at home to West Ham, a match that they lost 1-0 thanks to a goal from a player I like a lot. Oh God, what's
Thomas
his last name?
Souček.
Oh, it's Thomas. Yes, that's it. I was going to say Fabian. I don't think it is Thomas Souček.
Fabian
Thomas
Souček.
86th minute winner. Puts West Ham in good stead, and it makes me smile with West Ham because we were adamant at the start of the season that they were in trouble.
Huge trouble, yeah.
And as I said, because we've not done one of these in a while, and I feel like we haven't spoken about the entire Premier League as a whole for a long time. The only videos I've done with you recently have been United ones, where we're very, United centric.
Mind you, didn't we do the sort of review of the season so far?
We did, yeah, but wasn't that the one where like loads of different things went wrong?
I can't remember.
No, it was. It was the one where. You were like halfway through, and then I had to go because of my internet, and it was like way too noisy in my house to do one of these. That was the last time we did a video kind of like this, but in terms of a proper roundup, I haven't been in one since maybe the very start of December.
Oh wow! And then I think it's been me and Sam. I think did Alex do one? I can't remember.
I think he did. He did the quiz, didn't he?
Oh, we did the quiz. Yeah.
We need to do another one of as well.
Yeah. I'd be up for doing another installment of the quiz.
So yeah, to just go into it, obviously Paolo Souček. No, what was it?
Thomas.
Why do I keep calling him something different?
Maybe you called him Carlo because obviously Carlo Ancelotti, Everton, maybe.
I said Paolo Souček.
Oh,
That's what his name was.
Oh dear.
Thomas Souček scoring the goal. Big influence on West Ham. Very, very good player. But there are some interesting questions about West Ham because I don't know if you saw today, and we're skipping ahead a little bit to how I wanted to do things, but Haller is on his way to Ajax.
Now I did see something about, well, it was a rumour about they were going to sell him to try get some other players, but is it official now? Is he going to Ajax?
Let me just see if I can get it up because I wouldn't want to say something and not be able to find a thing to back it up. 1 second. Bear with me. This is where you're supposed to like. Oh, okay. Dutch football expert Marcel van der Kraan says West Ham striker Sebastian Haller is likely to join Ajax because of his relationship with their manager.
Hang on.
Ten Hag.
Oh my God! So it says West Ham accept 20 million Ajax bid for Sebastian Haller.
Yeah, I've literally just seen it as you were saying it. They've agreed a 20 million fee. I think as much as West Ham's style of play is definitely still get it to the wingers, get balls in, I still don't think they quite play to a system that suits Haller.
I've never been really, obviously, convinced by him that when much he's played at West Ham. Sometimes he's been quite good, but I don't think he'll be a huge loss for them.
I'm a fan of him. I thought it was a really big coup for West Ham at that moment. Fantastic for Frankfurt. They've got a record of just being able to do that with players. Haller, Jovic, to name, just two players that have left them recently, all in forward positions as well. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I haven't seen the links with anybody striker-wise, but there is somebody that could be on his way out, which I'm sure we'll get to at some point. Yeah, as we said, West Ham, we were convinced right from the start of the season with Dean Garner sale and stuff like that it wasn't looking good for West Ham. But what a job David Moyes has done.
Yes, he's done a really fantastic job, hasn't he, there?
I look at Declan Rice as sort of shown why he's good after a couple of mediocre seasons, to be honest. Jared Bowen looks fantastic.
See, I'm not really sure with Bowen, really.
Yeah, I think he's a good part of what they do. Antonio obviously was in great form, but then got injured. Souček, I think he only cost them $8 million to make the loan deal permanent.
Wow, that's
phenomenal.
That's cheap. That isn't.
It's a bargain. Then you look as well at all the different positions for them, and they've got somebody who's an interesting player and definitely somebody of quality. I really like the Ben Rama signing as well. I think he could have gone to more reputable clubs.
Yes, I thought he would have.
Without disrespect to West Ham, sorry. But he still ended up going to a good club. Cresswell is very underrated. Fornals as well is a very good player. And
I thought
their bench as well.
I thought Ben Rama would have gone to Villa. I
thought he was going to go. I don't know, but I think if he would have stayed at Brentford and gone in January, I think he would have gone to Arsenal, because Willian has just done nothing.
Willian had a good early start, but now he's just faded, and I don't think he's going to have a real job getting back in that team, because now that Martinelli is and Saka are doing so well at the moment.
And they're doing this as well, West Ham, without, this is one of the biggest things for me, without their first choice goalkeeper as well.
Oh yeah, because Fabianski's injured, isn't he?
I'm a big Fabianski fan. I think he got flack at Arsenal for years.
I can't remember him at Arsenal.
He got flack at Arsenal for years, and with good reason, because he always, to me, looked quite poor. Arsenal fans gave him the nickname Flappy Handski because he just couldn't seem to get the ball out of the net.
That's quite funny.
He was second choice to Wojciech Szczesny, who, great career he's gone on to have, obviously, with Juventus, and sort of proved himself again as one of the better goalkeepers in world football. After leaving Arsenal on not great terms. His behind him was Vito Manone as well, behind Fabianski. So really, at Arsenal, considering the level of goalkeeper I see Fabianski to be, and he's proved by his performances over the last couple of years, I think Fabianski should probably look back at that point now. And you could look at it two ways. You could think, it wasn't the best at the time in terms of goalkeepers. I could have been number one there, but he also obviously has gone back, praised how he did at Arsenal. Looked back at how he did and thought, yeah, I could do better than this, and he has gone on to.
He's dependable, isn't he? You can depend on him.
He's one of the better, although I think there are quite a few very good goalkeepers at lower teams now. You look at obviously, this is lower reputation, not lower table wise. You look at, I think Leeds' goalkeeper Meslier. I think Martinez, McCarthy, um, Pope. There are quite a
Yeah.
few very good goalies, but in a league like the Premier League, the standard of goalkeeping has to be as good as it can get.
Yes.
Also West Brom's one, Johnston.
Oh, Sam
Uh,
Johnston has been one of the few positives, I think, from West Brom season. He's made some really good saves, he has.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, there's quite a lot of good goalies. That being said, Everton, thinking of good goalies, their goalie is incredibly hit and miss,
Yeah,
and
Pickford, I'm no longer sure about, really.
another loss for them. They are an in and out team, but I still think they will do higher up. My opinion on Everton is, if Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison isn't firing, then they're not really, as dangerous as you would think. That being said, um, they are fourth in the table, so it's not that it's not to disrespect
No, no,
Everton.
no. They're in a very good place. I mean, they've not been in the top four, for a long time, have they?
On West Ham, rather unlucky for West Ham, and similarly for the likes of City and Southampton as well, which we'll get onto, I'm sure. They are low down, but only because there are a number of teams. I'm looking at this, and 10th, West Ham in 10th are technically like joint fifth with Southampton, City, Tottenham, Villa, and Chelsea. That's how tight it is right now.
Gosh, it is tight. Yeah.
West Ham have played one more game than every single one of then Southampton and Chelsea. They've also played two more games than Tottenham and Villa, and three more games more than City. So, in that sense, they do have an advantage. Yeah, I think Ancelotti probably will dip into the transfer window. I think there are still things he can improve on in the side, and somebody like him who's always worked with top quality kind of players, I think he will
Yeah.
know. He'll know that he's going to need to make some additions.
He's been. Oh, sorry.
But he has. If you were going to say what I think you were going to say, that he's done very well, then yeah, he has.
No, no, no. I wasn't gonna say that actually.
What were you going to say then?
I was gonna say that he's he's had some weird decisions in terms of formations and stuff. Playing James Rodriguez, on the wing rather than a number 10, which has been a little bit odd.
Yeah, I agree that some of his decisions have been a bit strange. For Everton, though, I do just want to point out two people in particular I've been very impressed with that aren't the usual ones that everybody talks about. Everybody talks about Calvert-Lewin, about Richarlison, about Decore and Alan, and and very negatively about Pickford. A lot of good things said about James Rodriguez and Gomez and Michael Keane, which I agree with. But I also think that Mason Holgate and Ben Godfrey have been good for them. Jordan Pickford is an odd one because I think he will make a game-winning save 1 minute, but also make a game-losing howler the next. He's a very up and down goalie, but because of what he can produce, reflexes-wise, I think that's probably why he's still in there. I like Olsen. I remember when we did our transfer centre whatevers in September. I was very, very happy with the Olsen signing for Everton. I'm not an Everton fan, but we do obviously get to have our opinions and our discussions. Yeah, so good for West Ham in the end. I sort of thought West Ham would probably do them over. There's been a couple of times, I think about, against United and things like that, where they have been unfortunate to not pick results up. But sometimes
I thought it'd be a draw, I would.
Sometimes you play well and don't get the results.
No, that is true.
Now, I don't remember, did you cover United and Villa? I think you did.
No.
Are you sure?
Just trying to think. New Year's Day. No, I don't think I did. Let me just check. Just trying to think.
Obviously, as a sort of a United-centric channel, we have had a lot of discussions about United, and similarly, the same with Chelsea. So I'm more looking to kind of
right. So I'm just looking
away.
Here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Go on, just have a look.
So the last United game that I covered was the United v Leeds. Oh no! So this would have been before Christmas. So United v Leeds extra time. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I am going to say, because like I said, I do want to move away from.
Oh no! Hang on. Sorry, I did cover the United v Aston Villa game.
No, I thought we did. Okay, in which case then, we've talked about what we need to talk about. But I do want to say, because I don't think I was involved in that one. I genuinely don't remember, considering it was New Year's Day and I was probably off. Then I probably was involved. But I do want to say that I think United actually, for the first time, maybe ever this season, in any situation I've seen them in, or highlights, or ever, or a full game, I think they played. I think they played quite well.
They did play well, yeah.
I was going to say really well, but I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Villa because they played well as well.
I think both teams really, really played well. Villa really fought, and I was, Villa are a really great team. I like a lot of their players. Grealish, El Ghazi, Ollie Watkins, Martinez, a really, really good team. Tyrone Mings.
I really like the majority of their team. And I think that a lot of people are surprised by Villa, but they have got a mix of players that have played in the Premier League before, players that are just pure talented, and they have got a talisman. Similarly to United, you could say United's talisman is Rashford. You could say it's Fernandes. You could even argue it's Pogba. But Villa have got that as well. They've got a couple in terms of Grealish, in terms of McGinn. Douglas Luiz is very underrated as well. I think maybe Man City could be looking at that and seeing how well Douglas Luiz is doing. Thinking, maybe that's a mistake. Obviously they've got like Fernandinho and the like, so I don't think they will.
No, I think that ship has sailed now. That possibility of Douglas Luiz coming back.
I think if City are going to worry about that, then I dread to think what kind of sleepless nights Chelsea have over the likes of Salah or De Bruyne or Lukaku.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about
No, no.
that. United obviously, if they beat Burnley on, well, it's in midweek, isn't it? If they beat Burnley in midweek, they will go top of the Prem.
Yeah.
Now, we've mentioned it a number of times. I think we mentioned it the other day. The notion of that to us is bizarre.
It is bizarre. Yeah.
Everybody else's opinions seems to have changed to, oh, it's the best United team they've had in years. They play great. It is the best United. Like I said to Sam yesterday, I think we were talking. I don't know, were we doing a video or something? I don't remember what we were doing.
Yes, you did. When you were doing the show yesterday.
Yeah, what was that for? Was it a United? Oh yeah, it was a United game, wasn't it? I don't even remember. It's because I was in one yesterday, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yesterday, United, the consensus seems to be that they're like the best of the rest, and it's not something I agree with. Obviously, I'm sure we'll touch on the City result in a minute, but they were just so poor defensively. The John Stones goal, I think obviously Stones deserved it. I'm a fan of him, but I think it was basic defending. The Fernandinho goal's a bit different because I thought it was a really crisp volley, a really good goal, hard for Henderson to deal with. But you would always say in that situation, just whatever you do, try your best to close down your man. And Fernandinho did have enough space to get the shot away, and I think in hindsight, Ollie is always going to look at that and say, well, it should have closed down your man.
I didn't see the game. I was listening to it on the radio.
So yeah, I don't know about United versus Burnley. I was having a conversation about it with a friend of ours earlier on over text, and he was like, "Oh yeah, United are good now, aren't they? They're not bad now, are they?" I'm like, I just get a feeling that Burnley are gonna get the result there. I just do. I think the only thing that goes against Burnley is their style of play is very physical, and United with Maguire, the only good thing I've got to say about Maguire is he is an excellent header of the ball.
Oh, he is. He's definitely his physicality is very useful.
Yeah. So God knows. I think, and again, I want to talk about it a bit more when we do get to Man City and Chelsea. I think City have now, in fits and starts, they've produced great performances. Chelsea were very poor, and again we'll get onto that. But there's not
Are we
much
not
more to say
going
than
in
Chelsea.
order?
I'm not. Yeah, we'll get there. But what I'm saying is Chelsea were poor, but City were clinical and they were at it and they played good stuff. I stand by. I'm not going to stand by that City will win the title like I very first predicted.
I
Because
don't think they'll win the title. No.
I still think it's Liverpool's to lose, but I think they will seriously put some pressure on.
Do you know, I'm no longer sure who will win the title, actually. I'm just really not sure.
Now, to move on again, just quickly, as I said a minute ago, Villa are one of those teams on 26 points. So, they've lost one, but don't get disheartened, Villa fans for sure. I think even if they went on a massive monumental collapse and finished like 12th, it'd still be a good season considering how well they've done. To not disrespect the team Villa have got. It does leave Villa in sixth with a game in hand on 26 points. United have got no games in hand with 33 points. So I actually thought, and I said it earlier on, United have got a game in hand. They haven't. West Ham are the only team to have played a game more, and I wonder why that is.
Don't know.
So, to move on, sorry, I was just a bit puzzled by that. To move on, Tottenham 3, Leeds 0. I praised Meslier earlier on,
but he
but I
did
thought he had
gift Tottenham a goal. He had a really horror
I
story
thought he
show,
had a
didn't
little
he?
bit of a shocker. He is good enough, obviously, made some saves to make up for it because we know what a force, Son and Kane are, and then you're adding in players like Lo Celso, that are a great, obviously, outlets for that, distributors for them to get good chances in. But yeah, I was speaking to somebody the other week, and there was games on. But he supports a team that isn't in the Premier League, and there was games on, and it was when the games were on Amazon Prime, and it was when Leeds beat West Brom 5-0. And I said to him, "Who are you watching?" And he said, "Leeds." And I said, "All right, why?" He said, "I just like the suicide way they play." And
That is a brilliant way of describing them.
I think that there is no better way to describe it, because as I said back to him, I think that Leeds' tactic works brilliantly against teams that won't, push against them like a West Brom, but doesn't work so well against a team that knows they've got a stronger squad and will go for it, like a Tottenham, like a Chelsea, like a Man United. Saying that though, Man United is a bad example because Leeds had enough chances in that game to put that game to bed, like they've done in every game actually. So no, it is a good example. Tottenham, I think, are another one of those teams that are majorly up there. The only thing that worries me is almost every single goal they've scored, Son or Kane has either scored it or assisted it or had a hand in it.
If they're injured, then I think they'd be stuck. They'd struggle.
If they were to lose one or the other, I'm sure at one point last season they lost them both. If they were to do that now, I don't even know who Tottenham's backup striker is. I don't think they've got one.
Is it Carlos Vinicius?
Oh, yes, Carlos Vicinius or whatever.
However you pronounce his name.
Sorry, got a bit of something stuck in my throat. He's done okay in the Europa League games. He's got a pretty decent record in the Europa League. But, again, it's a big ask because most of the goal scoring will be on his shoulders.
Those are some big shoes to fill if he does need to.
Leeds, again, it's difficult because we're saying a lot of stuff we've said already.
Sorry, the only thing that I want to say, and sorry to interrupt you, but I was very surprised.
No problem.
I thought Leeds would at least get a goal, but they didn't. So, is this the first game this season that Leeds have not scored a goal at all?
I'm sure haven't they drawn a 0-0?
Yes, I think you're right, actually.
And I don't think they scored against Chelsea, did they? Or maybe they did.
Pretty sure they did, yeah.
I can't think. But I think Tottenham all round have improved as a squad.
They have, yeah.
I think obviously it's just without Son and Kane, what else have they got? And that's the only thing, because I think, Sam said a few months back that he wasn't a fan of Højbjerg. I think Højbjerg has really grown into that Spurs midfield. I think he's just as important, if not more so, because he's more defensive than Lo Celso. And Lo Celso is the man that kind of gallops on, takes a pass on, knows how to find Son or Kane. So yeah, for me, Tottenham are a side that are up there.
He had a tough start, didn't he, Lo Celso? But no, he's comfortable and established himself now.
Yeah, and he's one of their better players as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spurs are 4 points away from Man United and Liverpool, and joint third as well. No, joint. Sorry, joint. Joint third with Tottenham and no, joint third with Leicester and Everton. God's sake, can't get my words out. Leeds are in 12th. Well, technically joint 11th with Arsenal. And then another one that I'm interested to talk about as well. Can't wait for that. Yes, moving on. I think there's not much more to say.
No, I think we've said all that we need to.
Palace. Again, Palace versus Sheffield United. 2-0 down. 2-0 loss for Sheffield United, who do look in some serious trouble despite, I feel, some not bad performances recently, especially...
No, oh, sorry, George.
Especially, I watched them on Prime against United. They were arguably the better side until, United killed the game.
Yeah. To be fair, actually, they did have a few chances, but it's going to be very tricky for them. It really is. I don't know who they've got next in the Premier League, but yeah, it's going to be tricky for them.
They've got Arsenal and Man City next 2 games.
Ooh. Well, especially with Arsenal, with their confidence in the way City are now.
Sorry, that's Palace. Sorry, they've in January they've got Tottenham at home, Man United away, and Man City away.
Blimey, that's a tough run of games then.
It's very, very difficult. That being said, at this point, they're 12 points away from safety. Also taking in mind the fact that Fulham in 18th have got 2 games in hand, and I said earlier on. Sorry, let me just clarify. I said earlier on that West Ham were the only team to have played 17 games. In the top half, they're the only team to have played 17 games. In the top 10 teams in the league, they're the only team to have played 17 games. So Fulham have got 2 games in hand in 18th, and so have Burnley and Newcastle as well.
Right.
So, the next couple of games are now absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
Because even if West Brom or Fulham don't pull away, the likes of Burnley could, Newcastle could. So,
getting the relegation zone?
Yeah, no, they could pull away. They could get points. They could make the gap bigger.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's very hard, yeah. Palace, I just wanted to talk about very quickly the Ebereche Eze goal, which was absolutely phenomenal.
It was a very good goal, wasn't it?
He settled in so well. I think Palace's recruitment since Hodgson took over has been pretty much spot on anyway.
Yeah, it's been good, hasn't it?
So, there's not much to complain about for Palace. Yeah, their league position, isn't as good as some of their performances suggest, but they are a mid-table team still, because the balance in that team still isn't really right for me. The 14th with 22 points.
I don't think they'll be going down, Palace.
No, I think they'll be okay. I also think even if they weren't, to get rid of Hodgson would be a huge mistake. In my opinion.
Yeah, Palace are a very up and down team, aren't they? You know, this
Well,
season.
they're lower mid-table, so that's that. You know that's the way it is when you're down there, really. Um, Speaking of that battle for Sheffield United and for Palace as well, um, two teams that are also down there in the bottom half of the table are Brighton and Wolves. They played out a 3-3 draw,
They
which
did,
is
yeah.
not, an unbelievable scoreline. Uh, good point, good point for Brighton. But the more I see it more and more each week, people being very, very critical of Graham Potter. It is, I don't know, it's getting to that point where I see the I see where people are coming from. You know, we're a third and a bit through the season now. We're probably past the halfway mark now of the
It's
season.
shaping up, isn't it? The season now.
Um, let's say for example, if they got the same amount of points this season, or for the next half of the season as they have this, they'd have 24 points. No, sorry, they'd have 28 points, which mathematically, everybody likes to get to the 40 points, but usually about 30 points will do it for safety. So mathematically, they are right in danger. So I understand the issue.
They need to
Wolves
get
have
a
got
really good striker, don't they?
well, they got. This is the thing. I think Maupay and Connolly and Welbeck are decent options. Um, but again, I think they've got a better team than their league showing and performances suggest. They're not playing badly. It's just they're not playing as good as teams around them, and failure to beat Sheffield United really isn't good either because they were a team that were ripe for the picking. For
Oh,
me,
did they play Sheffield United in December?
they played Sheffield United in December, yes.
Oh
On
right,
the
yeah, yeah.
27th, no, on the 20th of December, they were a 1-1 draw.
Oh right.
Uh, if we look at their recent form, their December form, 2-1 loss to Southampton, 3-0 loss to Leicester, 0-0 to Brighton, 1-1 to Sheffield United, 2-2 to Palace, and a 1-0 loss to Arsenal.
Ooh,
Um, so it's not great.
no.
I know what you're going to say though. I know that you will say keep Potter on,
Well,
and I
yes,
also
yes, because
agree
he
because
plays a great style of football.
I think his ideas are right, but I also think when you're lower down in the table, it can be quite dangerous to try and play that attractive, style of play. That's why somebody like Big Sam always gets the job done because they play ugly football, but it's tried and trusted and true and will always keep you safe, which is why I think Burnley will be all right this season as well. Not that Burnley play ugly football. That
You
being
do
said,
know
well,
Sam
Wolves
Allardyce
are.
manages West Brom.
Yeah, what did I say? I said West Brom, didn't I?
No, he said Burnley.
I said that's what. No, I said I was on. I think Burnley will be all right too.
Oh,
I said
sorry,
like
sorry, right.
that's why West Ham. I said that's why West Ham. Big Sam, sorry, not West Ham. That's why Big Sam gets the job done, and I also think Burnley will be all right as well. Um, Wolves are in 12th. Against United, I watched it. I was the only one of us to watch it. And them two are United fans. I think Ben must have watched it, surely. Uh, but Wolves were very good against Brighton. I also saw them against not Brighton. Oh my God, it's all going to pot. They were very good against United. And they were also quite good, although it was a couple of weeks ago now against Chelsea, which I also saw. But they do tend to drop points against the teams that you don't really want to drop points against, in my opinion. Obviously, without Raul Jimenez, they're missing a top goal scorer. That being said, I like Fabio Silva. I think he's starting to come into his own. But they probably could do some more reinforcements as well in the window.
Yeah.
This was the one I was really, really happy. I couldn't wait to talk about. I wasn't happy about it because the start of Arsenal's good run was at Chelsea. West Brom 0, Arsenal 4.
Yep.
I haven't even gone through who scored goals. I did it for Everton and West Ham, so we'll just go back one sec.
Oh, right, okay.
For Man United against Villa, Martial opened the scoring, for Traore equalised, and who else but a Bruno Fernandes penalty. For Tottenham against Leeds, 3 goals with no reply. 1 from Son, 1 from Kane. That's not in the right order, but it was 1 from Son and 1 from Kane, and a goal from Toby Alderweireld, with Matt Doherty being sent off in injury time. For Palace against Sheffield United, it was Jeffrey Slupp and Eberechi Eze. For Brighton v Wolves, Aaron Connolly opened the scoring. Romain Saiss equalised. Dan Burn own goal gave Wolves the lead. Neil Maupay scored a penalty in the 46th minute. Ruben Neves scored a penalty in the 44th minute, to give Wolves the lead, with Brighton equalising through Maupay. And then Lewis Dunk scored it in the 70th minute. So we're saying that about Brighton, but both the strikers did score. So,
okay.
Can't be too bad. That being said, scoring for Arsenal against West Brom, Kieran Tierney with 1. Very good goal. If it's
really
yes,
fantastic goal.
Great goal. Bukayo Saka with the 2nd, and Alexander Lacazette with 2, who is in great form.
He is, yeah. He's a weird one, Lacazette, isn't he?
Using the kids, I thought, when it got to the team selection for Arsenal, I thought was a big gamble and probably wouldn't pay off. I was very wrong. It has paid off.
Well, but they've just
Smith
brought
Rowe,
youth and
excellent.
energy, haven't they?
Yeah. Smith Rowe is excellent.
Very good player.
Martinelli is excellent. Saka is excellent. Tierney is excellent, but he was obviously playing anyway, but he's still excellent.
Oh, Tierney. Tierney is oh, sorry.
No, you go on.
I mean, Kieran Tierney, even when Arsenal have been playing poor, he's been the one consistent player. I don't think he's ever had a bad game for Arsenal, because I think he's just always been fantastic.
Yeah, and like you said, Lacazette is a weird one. I touched on it earlier. I do think West Brom will be okay, but not great signs for them.
No.
Again, the West Ham transfer I was alluding to earlier on is apparently
Robert Snodgrass.
Robert Snodgrass. Very good player, but
it'll be interesting, won't it? Because obviously he's getting on a bit now, and he's not played really much.
In terms of West Ham's team, I think Bowen, Yarmolenko, Antonio, and the like are better players. No disrespect to Robert Snodgrass. I thought Sam Allardyce made a very interesting quote. Said he wanted him to have a similar impact to Gary Speed at Bolton, which is very interesting. So he obviously must think quite highly of Snodgrass. I do too. I think he's a very good player. I think he was the best player in the Norwich side, or one of the best players in the Norwich sides that were in the Premier League in the early 2010s. In the early
Didn't he
sort of
play for
2000s.
Leeds as well, Snodgrass?
Yeah, and he did come to Norwich from Leeds, and he was probably the best player there as well.
I remember him
So,
at Hull, obviously. Yeah.
oh yeah, he was good there too. So you know, he has had a good Premier League career, and keeping West Brom up would be good. Obviously, there's only 6 points between West Brom and Brighton, so you know they're still right in the mix to stay up. As are Fulham. We'll get on. Well, we won't get on to them because their game was postponed. Yeah, they're shipping a lot of goals at the minute, but I think that's to do with how conservative their style is. And as we said earlier on, you know, if you're going to be defensive against a Leeds, even against an Arsenal, who are, at their best, the best counter-attacking team in the Premier League, I think, some of the football we've seen from Tottenham puts them near the top. United, obviously, City and Chelsea, but they're some of the better teams in the Premier League at the minute. I'm happy to see the pressure go off Arteta. I think
it's good.
that you could tell by, one, the caliber of coach he is because of who he's been under.
Yes.
With Wenger and Guardiola as a a mentor, coaching wise, that he would have the managerial know-how and nous to make Arsenal work. There must have been something going on behind the scenes. Who knows? 4 wins in a row now, isn't it, for them?
Yeah.
Which I think is very good. Young players, I'm so happy, and the majority of them are English as well.
Yeah.
So, if you're an Arsenal fan, if Dunk knows here, which I don't know, because I checked the comments like 5 or 10 minutes ago.
Last time I've kept checking a couple of times, and no, he's not here.
But if Dunk is here, happy days.
I want to see Saka starting for England now. Sorry to interrupt.
They're only in 11th. Don't get me wrong. So, it's still not amazing. But to go from the level of performances they did have, which I personally think, results-wise, performances-wise, was shocking compared to now when they look really slick, really smooth, like the Arsenal we all remember.
If they keep winning, then they'll move up the table.
It's very good and very exciting, but like I said, still where they are. Don't get me wrong, they are only 3 points away from the likes of. They're only. Why is the table changed? Is there a game on tonight or something? I was looking at the table as it was going. Right, okay. So they're only 3 points off Villa in 8th, only 6 points off Tottenham in 4th, and only 9 points away from Leicester in 3rd. So I don't think it's that bad. This is the live table as well, by the way.
Right.
So I'm looking at the right one this time. Going into Sunday, obviously the first game that day was Burnley versus Fulham. Match postponed. Sometimes you can look at that as a good thing because they'll have more time to prepare for both teams. Other times, it can disrupt the rhythm, especially with Burnley picking up points and doing a lot better recently.
Yeah, it depends, doesn't it?
Sorry, finish your point. So the first game of Sunday was Leicester 2, Newcastle 1. There were two. There were there was a very good goal in this game, and it was obviously the goal from Andy Carroll, which I thought was very, very good. It was quite a ridiculous finish for somebody who's meant to kind of not be the best, the most skilled footballer. And Tielemans' goal as well was very good. That's why I said there was a couple of goals, and I was like, no, I'm thinking about the wrong match. Doing these after finishing a 12-hour shift is probably not a good idea, but we roll with it. It's fine. Newcastle, I think, had chances. It wasn't that kind of thing where we look at this and Newcastle have gone to a bigger team and either, got a shock result and played well and done well defensively, or they've been battered. They played well, they created chances, and in the end they were undone by, bits and pieces of quality by Leicester. What can we say about Leicester that we haven't said already? I run out of superlatives. I love the club.
I like Leicester.
I'm not a fan, but I do have a deep kind of affinity because of family and friend connections.
I think for me also, members. Sorry to interrupt you, but winning the title as well, I'll always have them, in my heart.
I think I'll never forget being in a club that my friend, some people I know were all in, who have all supported Leicester for 30, 40, 50 years. The last game of the season, Andrea Bocelli is there singing.
Oh yeah.
And you've got grown men in their 60s crying their eyes out. And it was something really beautiful and something that I'll never forget. So yeah, I love Leicester. All power to them. I think Brendan Rodgers is a great manager. I think everything he did at Liverpool,
he's learned, hasn't he? He's had time to learn from that.
It could have been a lot better. I think if they had have won the league in 2013-14, then all this Jurgen Klopp coming in and transforming Liverpool into the dominant force,
it wouldn't have happened.
Game right now wouldn't have happened. But you could also state that if Rodgers had have won the title with Liverpool, would they have gone on to have done as well as they've done under Klopp? Personally,
no,
I
probably
don't think
not.
So, but I also think that Jurgen Klopp is probably in the top 3 managers in the world right now.
I love Klopp, I really do.
Yeah, it's his personality as well. Sometimes some of the stuff he says is over the mark. Some of it's bang on, but you shouldn't really say it as a manager. The other day he was talking about penalties because I thought they should have had a penalty against Southampton. Wasn't given, and he turned around and he said, if it was United, we'd have had... I think it was either if it was United, that would have been a penalty, or if it was United, we would have had 10 or so more penalties. Something like that, which I believe is true, but I think sometimes it depends which referee you get, and it seems every single time United have a game, it's a Bruno Fernandes penalty, which is why, despite the fact I do think he's one of the better players, I don't think he is the Messiah, Jesus, that everybody, says he is. Yeah, so good signs for Leicester. Newcastle, I don't know. I still stand by what I've said. I said at the start of the season, I've said throughout the season, I said it in the mid-season thing. Steve Bruce's head is on the chopping block, and I think it has been ever since he turned up, because...
Then they shouldn't have appointed him then.
If he doesn't get some results, he's probably in trouble. But you say that, but I feel like he's done a good job. He's done a solid job, and they need a solid manager, somebody to sort of steady the ship. But going from Rafa Benitez to Steve Bruce is quite a downgrade, despite the fact I do think that Rafa Benitez, although he had Newcastle playing good football, he's quite defensive as well. It's just that Benitez was defensive but positive, whereas Steve Bruce can be defensive and negative. And I think there is a difference. I think obviously, it's tried and tested that it will keep you in the Premier League, as it has done for him with Hull. And I'm sure, another club around, but I genuinely can't think of who it would be. So yeah, I'm a Steve Bruce fan. I like him. He's been spotted round near where I live quite a few times.
Really?
So he must have an affinity with the area. Yeah, he was at a Crew game a couple of weeks ago with his son Alex, because his son was really heavily rumoured to sign for us, but then obviously he didn't. And then there's been a number of times where I've seen in like the Crew Facebook chat that people have had pictures taken with Steve Bruce because he's got off at Crew station. So I don't know what's going on with him, but still I like him. He's all right. Very good defender in his day as well. As I mentioned a few times, and because I've done so, I don't feel like it's too necessary. I did touch on the scorers as well, by the way, while we were doing that. It was James Maddison and Yuri Tielemans, and then Andy Carroll, with his first goal for Newcastle since he left, actually. So, Chelsea City, I knew there was it was going to be a bad result. But, when the pressure's on, quite like Ole at the start, quite like Arteta, and now it's Frank's turn. Nobody talks about the fact that, like, from the Liverpool result right at the start of the season, they went like 10 matches unbeaten, which, considering that the team has played quite poorly, similarly to United, they've still picked up the points, but they have come undone with some, even for like United standard level performances. The only difference is United have a Fernandes and a Rashford and have been able to find that, whereas Chelsea, despite having those star players, Havertz really hasn't adapted to the league yet. I don't think Werner has either. We can talk about that because he does score goals, and he has scored goals. He's scored 8, which for this part of the season is, fairly good to good. But then when you look at it and you think, oh yeah, he's scored 8 goals and got something like 4 or 6 assists. But in the Premier League, he's got 4 goals and 4 assists. Now that, it's not so good. And I think it's purely because he is not used to the pace of the league. My evidence for that is, if a ball comes into you quickly, you're either going to do one or two things. Hit it straight at the keeper, which he does a lot, or blaze it over the bar, which he does a lot. I think the only one, and I like Mendy, but the only one that's been an absolute star has been Thiago Silva, because he's completely transformed that back line.
Yeah.
That being said, just to interrupt, sorry, I do really like Edouard Mendy.
No, it's okay. I wasn't going to say anything.
Ziyech, of course, looked good, but I think he was, even when he was playing well, he was struggling for fitness all the way up to getting injured again. I don't think, and it's been mentioned a few times, it was mentioned by the commentators against Villa, he definitely isn't up to 100% yet. He's getting in all the right positions, but he's definitely missing a bit. He's not playing full games yet, or not very often, which obviously means that Lampard is a bit concerned about his fitness, which is completely fine. I've got an interesting stat for you, and you probably are going to be shocked by this, because I know you're not too convinced by Tammy Abraham.
No, no, I like Tammy Abraham. I think he's done better than Werner.
In the Premier League. So, okay, let me try and find somebody else first. In the Premier League, the top scoring Chelsea player is Tammy Abraham with 6 and 1 assist.
Right.
Then Werner, Abraham is 13th on the list, joint 13th with Watkins and Mane. And the amount of people that go on about Watkins and Mane is quite ridiculous. Similarly, the fact that Maupay is up there as well. Werner is in joint 23rd. Same people with the same amount of goals and assists of him. Adams and Ward-Prowse both have 4 goals and 4 assists.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, did you think I was not that keen on Tammy Abraham?
Maybe it was Sam that said he wasn't too keen on Tammy Abraham.
Yeah, I think that is because I've always been. I think he's been a pretty good player, and I honestly I've been disappointed with Werner, I have to say. But I know it's obviously his first season,
I think
and
the
he's
problem is as well.
still
I think
settling in.
slagging him off for his goal output is kind of unfair as well when you take into consideration the fact that he has spent the entire season on the wing when he's a striker.
So that is true, yeah.
That's obviously going to have an impact.
Then why is he not playing centrally then?
Well, you can't ignore the form of Giroud, can you?
But he's not been playing regularly, has he? This season so far?
He started centrally the last 5 or 6 games.
Oh, because he's been. That's why he's been linked with a move.
Yeah, I think if he moved, Chelsea would miss something. I'd be upset if he moved, because I think, I've never not said I don't rate Giroud. To be fair,
No, I've always liked Giroud.
Anybody thought I was being inconsistent? This to me tells you everything. Yeah, he's only scored 3 in the league, but that's in 9 games, and I think 2 of them are off the bench. And then in all competition, he's scored 9 in 15. So that's top level for a 34-year-old man who is 35 this time.
I cannot believe he's that old, Giroud.
I thought he was older, actually. I thought he was 36. He's been about a long time.
To me, he's always seems like a young player.
That being said, let's just nip into the goal scorers. Somebody who I think's again a player that's really improved, has got the ability to be a top midfielder in the Premier League and showing it recently. İlkay Gundogan with the first goal on the 18th minute. Phil Foden, got to be one of the brightest sparks in England right now.
He needs to start more, Foden.
Right now, still scored a goal. Kevin De Bruyne scored the third. 3-0 at half time. Tells you everything. Callum Hudson-Odoi, who is another one who I think is absolutely vital that he starts, because everything I've seen of him, highlights, watching him live, he brings that energy, that fire. I probably wouldn't start him, but he needs to come on a lot more and get a lot more game time, because I think somebody that has shown what he's shown will definitely go, especially if Bayern Munich are still willing to pay 70 million for him, which I doubt they are, but who knows. So
no, I can't imagine they would be now.
This is what I was on about when I said earlier on about people complaining about Lampard. Why does the table keep changing every time I look at it?
Oh, that must be weird.
Because I'm sure I said earlier on that they're the only team in the Premier League to have played 17 games. In the top half of the Premier League play 17 games, but Southampton have, and so have Leicester. This is not Leicester and Liverpool. So United have got a game in hand. Sorry. So most of the things I've said, ignore it. We'll go through the table at the end of the episode. Chelsea are in ninth, but only 6 points away from third and 7 points away from top. Although United obviously have a game in hand, and City are fifth, 3 points away from third, and 4 points away from top. United have a game in hand, but City have 2. So let's say City win their next 2, their 2 games in hand, not the next 2. They will be a point behind United, assuming that United win their game in hand as well, which they might not. Who knows? It's United, but they probably will, because even though they're playing poorly, they're picking up. Chelsea in ninth. I did say that actually, didn't I? Moving on. So on the Monday, just the one game. We're almost there now. We've done it in about an hour and 18, which isn't bad for us usually.
Yeah,
Just
it's been a good show, actually.
The 2 minutes, Danny Ings with a fantastic lob, I thought, over Alisson, assisted by who else? James Ward-Prowse. As I alluded to earlier on, there was that penalty shout. I thought, it's one of them where the commentator actually said at the time, I've seen them given. And, it's so true. You have seen them given. Fraser Forster played his first Premier League game in I don't know, God knows how long. It feels like I've not seen him in about 3 or 4 years.
Gosh, I forgot he was even still around. I mean, well, not dead, obviously, but...
So, here we go. Fraser Forster kept his first Premier League clean sheet in 3 years, though this was only his 13th Premier League appearance in 3 years.
Blimey.
This is how good Southampton were defensively, or how poor Liverpool were, and then I want to look at it. The Reds' first shot on target on Monday came in the 75th minute, their latest in the Premier League in 5 years. And Southampton, just one more. Southampton are the first team to beat all 7 winners of the Premier League in the season after a title win. Very good side. Another one of those where I feel like we've already said all the good things there is to say. But that being said, I haven't watched a lot of Premier League, so I can't offer anything more than you're going to give me. As you know, Will, I've worked a lot over the Christmas period, so I'm really out of sync. I did see Ings' goal. I thought it was a fabulous, fabulous goal. I didn't see it. Oh, it's wonderful. You need to see it. I don't understand why you don't watch. If there's games you've not seen, you don't watch the highlights on YouTube like I would do.
Well.
But we know what you're like for taking advice, because me and Sam give you basic advice, and Alex, and Ben, and Ashley, and you take none of it. So we'll just avoid that one. Southampton, fantastic team. Hasenhüttl, brilliant. What he's done with them, brilliant. Liverpool, as I said earlier, it's their title to lose. I think when they are on the mark, they're brilliant. Curtis Jones played a lot more this season. Really, really like him. It's good to see Firmino scoring goals, but obviously didn't score any on this particular day. And yeah, we'll just get a look at the full Premier League table. I'll make sure this is the right one without giving me any misinformation. And then we'll crack on.
Okay.
So, bottom of the table with 2 points, is Sheffield United. 19th with 8 is West Brom. 18th with 11 points, but with 2 games in hand, and I'm absolutely certain that that's correct, is Fulham. 17th with 14 points is Brighton. 16th with 16 points, funnily enough, but with 2 games in hand, is Burnley. 15th, but with a game in hand, is Newcastle. Joint 13th with 22 points are Palace and Wolves. Joint 11th are Leeds and Arsenal with 23 points. Joint 5th, unbelievably, but Villa have 2 games in hand, as do Man City, and Everton also have a game in hand. No, scratch that. Joint 8th with Villa having 2 games in hand and Everton having 1 is Chelsea, Villa and Everton. No, Chelsea, Villa and West Ham. Fuck me, I'm getting these all wrong. Joint 4th are Everton, Southampton, Man City and Tottenham. Tottenham have a game in hand, as do Everton. Man City have 2. 3rd is Leicester with 32, and joint top of the Premier League with United having a game in hand is Manchester United, and right at the top on goal difference, Liverpool. Very interesting. You know, pressure on some managers out there when it shouldn't be. I'm not saying that Lampard doesn't deserve it, because we haven't been great, and I'm never going to shy away from that. But, you know, a couple of wins with things being, you know, so inconsistent as they still are, you know, we could go right back up there. I don't know if you agree. Similarly with Villa, if they win their games in hand, you know, they're in, you know, joint 3rd with Leicester. So, not all hope is lost, despite it, you know, seeming like it might be for a bigger team like a Chelsea or still an Arsenal, I guess, but 4 wins in a row is pretty decent.
We'll see.
Obviously, we have touched on Man City and United. Is there anything else you want to say about that?
No, I think we've said all we needed to say.
Yep. Should we get into some predictions then?
Yes.
We're going to finish before time, which has never happened. In fact, we can't do predictions. We could do FA Cup predictions, but I feel like...
Oh, yeah.
That's a little bit... There's a lot of games.
Oh, blimey, yeah.
We'd be here for ages. Especially because you don't know most of the teams. We'd be here for ages. There's not a Premier League game until...
the 12th of January.
Yeah, Man United are playing at 8:15. Sheffield United playing at 6 o'clock. So, let's just check something. There are games on from now until... Good God. There's games all over the place. There's games on from... There's Premier League games on, from Tuesday till... Let me just check that's right. From Tuesday until the following Tuesday.
Wow.
The following Thursday, sorry.
Blimey, that's a lot of games.
But... as well. Yeah, so it's gonna, you know, probably a make or break period. Again, you know, Christmas period, January period, usually is.
Yes.
So, you know, we'll see where we are in terms of title aspirations or whatever at that point. That's it then. To be fair.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah.
You know, is there anything you want to talk about in terms of other football-y stuff, or is there not?
Not football stuff. No. I think probably tomorrow I will do. It'll be late, but my Doctor review actually.
Yes, I think you should get bang on that because they do good for views. Considering the slump that we've been in of late, I think we're getting out of it now. But
I think we've actually done a good few videos. Actually, this has been my most consistent run. Actually,
I think we've had more consistent runs. I think this video has been a bit too much me and not enough you. And even then, because I'm a bit tired and a bit all over the place.
I thought I've talked quite a bit in this.
And that being said, though,
why did you not think I did talk enough?
No, I think you've done fine. I just think that I always feel like I'm always talking, but that's just because I feel like I'm very controlling of situations. So that's the end of the video. Do you want to drive us home? Tell us when you're going to see us next.
I will, yes.
When they're going to see you next, more importantly, if you're doing a video.
Oh, yeah. So, tomorrow we'll probably, I will say probably, because it won't be definite yet, because I'm, not sure. I'll see whether I'm in the mood. So, yeah, tomorrow will probably be my Doctor Who review, I think, of the Special Revolution of the Daleks. A little late, but yep. And then...
On Saturday, United are playing.
Yeah, Saturday. Can you do the United game?
I could.
So, 8 o'clock, United and Watford.
I could do post-match if you were up for it, but I couldn't do pre. Sam probably will probably be the one to help you out on that one.
Oh yeah, okay. And and
then from then obviously it's Tuesday for United.
Tuesday back to the...
I'm off then, so I can do whatever.
Oh right, okay.
Not just that, but there probably won't be a review show until the next couple of weeks. We'll have to do something.
I think we should do the quiz again in our usual slot.
Okay, so on the Thursday, this Thursday coming up. 1 second. This Thursday coming up is if there's big games on, I don't think it's a good idea, but we'll see who's playing. There's one game on, it's at 8 o'clock, and it's Arsenal v Palace.
Well...
and by that point as well, I was going to say by that point as well, the majority of the matches for that week will have been played out, which is true, because the only other game after that Thursday one is Fulham versus Chelsea at 8 o'clock on the Friday, and then we're into the next week of games. So I guess it's up to you what you want to do.
Oh well.
Oh my God! There literally is a game from. Bloody hell! Isn't it? Wow. Good if you're a football fan, I guess. So, yeah,
well, yeah, but there's also a bit of maybe too much football at times.
Mate, if you love football as much as, well, you don't love football as much as me and Sam do, but if you did, I'm sure you wouldn't be complaining.
Well, yeah, me and football have a weird relationship.
Yeah, well, I've said this before. If you've got a weird relationship, why are you the host of a football show? But
Well, because I still like football.
that's a conversation for off air, which we're not going to have because it's 9:30 and I'm very tired.
You're like me yesterday, then.
And it's, well, you haven't worked 12 hours, mate, in a room on your own at 26 degrees. I'm bloody well out of it. But yes, so we'll do the quiz if you want. Spread the word to all the boys. You're quiz master this time.
Oh, good,
came
excellent.
last. So I swear to God, if you don't do any preparation,
my head will be on the chopping block.
I will. What's the thing? I will something and shit down your throat. Oh, I'll slit your neck and shit down your throat. No, I'll slit your throat and shit down your neck. I don't know what the saying is, but basically, you are proper in the doghouse.
Oh right, okay.
If you don't get it done, you've got a good few days to sort it. You've got 6 days to do it.
6 days, okay.
With that. 6 days, you're probably going to do at least 2, at least the United game. Hopefully you do the Doctor Who one as well. And yeah, so quite a bit coming up from us. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe to the TubeMix channel. Obviously, the main focus for Will and for us as a channel is to get things back on track with the channel. We have done some good stuff recently. Some of it's not been as good. I think the quiz was very strong. I think the video me and Sam did yesterday was very good.
Yes, it was very good, yeah.
So yeah, obviously Will has technically already passed 50 subscribers, so the next landmark for him is the big 100. That would be great if we could reach that by the end of the year. But it is this channel, and we do know that the content does vary, so who the hell knows. But the European Championships are coming up in the summer, so although most of us will probably, if the vaccine sorted and the coronavirus, I'm going to be getting pissed out of my face.
Oh well, yeah, I'm not sure I'll be covering the Euros.
Full of sweaty middle-aged men who are singing and screaming and crying, and I will love every single second of it. But yeah, that's it for us. Do all the things that I said, please. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel too. That is youtube.com/ or / it is a / I think. JLIWheels. I am on. We'll have a look. I am on. Bear with. I am on 40 subscribers. I would love to get to 50 soon, or I'm kind of like Will. My goal is to get 100, by the end of the year, as soon as possible. But it is difficult to start building up an audience, so we'll see how it goes. So yeah, please do that. Do all the stuff we said, please. And we will be back. Will be back soon. If not, we're back on Saturday. I have been JLIWheels. That has been Mr. TubeMix.
Thank you.
Stay safe. We're nearly there. People are starting to get second doses of vaccines. Keep the faith. And bloody hell, it might be all right. With that, good night.
Absolutely.